so good. All right, everybody, welcome to 24 Sladen. I'm Tim, and this is Tracy.
I'm Tracy.
Tracy is the founder of Healed Women Heal, and she's got something else. And she's going to come on and tell us about her journey and what she does.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Thanks for inviting me.
We'll try this again.
So I'm Tracy, and I am the founder and executive director of Healed Women Heal. We provide domestic violence prevention, education, empowerment, and healing services to women, families, youth, and we serve Pomona area, residents of Claremont and surrounding cities. And I think transitioning into getting into this work for me really has played a huge role in just navigating. Are we good? Navigating just life. Like for me, as a multiracial child growing up in Boyle Heights, my mom Black, my dad white, just being accepted was very challenging. And just, I think, identity, just trying to fit in and be accepted and loved and approved was very challenging for me. So that kind of played a role in me just really wanting to support people in coming into your authentic self and navigating those things and healing those areas that need healing. So I did find myself in my early years getting into an abusive relationship. And I was not familiar or aware with certain red flags, manipulation tactics, and power imbalance. I was just not aware of these things. So I found myself in something that ultimately became very abusive. And I was in that for 9 years. And so I managed to escape that. And I had 2 children in that relationship. And so getting out of that and then having to kind of rebuild myself because my confidence was shot, my self-esteem was shot. And I had 3 kids looking at me. I had a kid before I got into that relationship. So I have 3 kids looking at me like, what now, Mom? So building myself back up was the hardest part. There's just so much shame and guilt and embarrassment that is attached to it. So Healed Women Heal was birthed, and I just am passionate about supporting women who maybe have been impacted by abuse or maybe don't know that they're in something that is abusive, which is why I think the prevention piece is super important. Because had I known some of this stuff, I would not have been in it. But abuse does not discriminate, so anyone can get involved. I mean, anyone can get in a situation that they, didn't realize was abusive. But it's super important that we do spread the information about what is domestic violence, which is just power and control. Red flags, warning signs, types of violence, cycle of abuse, all of this information that we just might not know and ultimately find ourselves in something. So Healed Women Heal was started, and we are contracted with Pomona Unified School District. We do healthy relationship workshops in the middle schools, elementary schools, high schools, in the wellness centers of the various schools. And you would be surprised how many high school students, even middle school students are in abusive relationships. And they share this with us in these workshops. And, we're not there to judge. We're not there to, what is wrong with you? And, we listen, and then it's like, okay, so how do you think that's going to impact you when you try to just ask questions and hear how they answer? And You know, in the beginning, it might be funny and fun and they're laughing. And then we keep asking more questions and it can get very emotional and they can cry after a certain amount of questions are asked. So I think it's just something that we all need to be very aware and mindful of because it does exist, you know?
Yes.
We just out here trying to be healthy.
Of course.
We want all our friends to be healthy.
That's your job.
Yes.
That's your job.
Yes.
So the healing, so you're healing people and you're doing the schools, and what else do you guys do for
community?
Yeah. That's the word. That's
we're
the
out
word.
here. Yeah. Schools. We have women who have open cases or who have lost their children due to violence, and their kids maybe are in foster families. So it's super important that we offer our 12-week workshop series for those families because it does satisfy the terms of their case. But then we also just recently launched Tracy's Healing Room.
Mm-hmm.
Tracy's Healing Room is a for-profit arm of the business where we are offering membership tiers for those who are looking for emotional healing, relationship coaching, relationship hurt, trauma recovery. We just have some really great things. We've created this amazing sanctuary in Claremont, California, and we offer workshops and one-on-one coaching and red light therapy, journal prompts, growth workshops, lunch and learns. I mean, we have so many great things for healing, but really healing in community that's the way to do it, because so many people think that what they're going through is like an isolated thing when everyone's going through the same thing. So, but people, you have to be vulnerable to share that kind of stuff. And too many people can't be vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know, it's
That's
like,
true.
for those who can't say I love you, you know,
Yeah.
asking them to say I love you is like, no, I'm not going to say I love you. So being vulnerable and transparent is in community is actually the best way to heal. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. I do now though. I like it.
It's amazing.
Okay.
It's amazing.
I'm learning a lot.
Yes.
Yes.
People come into the space. Everybody wants to be hard. Maybe they're going through the program because someone thought that it would be good for them to go through it, or their parents said you need to go through this, or their social worker said you need to go through this. So they're coming in hard, closed. They're not going to share too much because they don't want to be judged or looked at any kind of way. And as we spend weeks together, their guards start to slowly come down, and they have identified that I am not the enemy. And in this whole process, one of the things that I do in this process is I share my own hurt. I share my own things that I have done and bad decisions that I've made, and how I had to transition into a different space after having made that bad decision. So when they realize that, oh shoot, this woman right here has done some of the same things that I have done or am currently doing, they feel a little bit safe in sharing, which is how you heal.
Yeah. So, what were some of the obstacles that you had to go through on your journey?
I think a big obstacle was being biracial. in a city where I just didn't feel like I necessarily belonged. Like we were talking before, where it's like, not black enough. I'm not Mexican or Hispanic at all.
Yeah.
But all of my friends are, every single one of them.
Yeah.
So, of course, I want to do what they're doing because that's all I see, So, I want to be a part of what they're doing. I want to go to the events that they're going to. So, as non-Hispanic as I actually am, it was like my culture, because I'm in the culture, like my best friend. And so then I go do my first Holy Communion. Yeah. I go to Catholic churches. I'm learning the language, love the food, but I'm not Hispanic.
Yeah.
So there's just like a whole identity thing that I'm struggling with. And then I graduate high school and go to college. And guess what? There's a bunch of black people in college. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's lots of black people. So I loved that. But then who are you? Where are you from? What accent is that? I wasn't black enough.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of, again, another group that I want to be a part of. I want to be included. I want to be accepted. But there was a lot of obstacles in that. So just feeling like I'm not accepted in a lot of different places. So I think getting into an abusive relationship, I felt like there was this target on my back, someone looking at me, knowing that I'm just dying. I'm craving acceptance. I'm craving approval. I'm craving validation. I'm craving all of these things because I'm looking for it. So I think that was like a huge obstacle, identity, and just like really trying to figure out who I was in the process. And that was a lot of work and a lot of years. So, anyone that's struggling with, and I hear so many stories, like maybe there are multiple siblings in a family and they're not the chosen one. They favored their sister or their brother, or they favored somebody else. Or there's so many stories that I hear about people who just were different, and these different people somehow ended up in something abusive. And so I'm not trying to say that there's any kind of correlation. I'm saying that there is, it was definitely an obstacle of trying to figure out who I was when the obstacles and barriers were, I was the only biracial in my community, my neighborhood. I mean, you were there, but you were
I didn't count.
Older than me. And
yes.
So you didn't count, and you're a guy, so you didn't count.
Yeah. True.
But trying to figure out who you are took me a long time. Like even talking to you before this, when you're talking about just Tim and just be Tim and be. It took me so long to be Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a lot of years to figure out who Tracy even is. And it took a lot of being broken down and a lot of bad experiences and a lot of bad decisions before I could figure out who Tracy actually is. And she's so cool.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, but you couldn't have told me that 40 years ago. But she's so cool. And, I wish I would have known that, but I didn't. That's part of my journey. But I think that was probably the greatest obstacle.
Could have asked me. I known you for a long time.
I know.
I seen you when you were running around.
Yeah. That wasn't even a question I knew that
That's true.
I needed to ask,
I understand. So, can you remember the first person you helped? Like, just the person. No names. Or...
You know, I remember early. Okay, so after my abusive relationship,
Well,
after I left it, I
the first
started.
person you helped was yourself, but go ahead.
Other than myself,
That was, the first person you helped was yourself.
it was myself. Yeah,
'Cause
and I continue to help me every day. I choose me every day, and that is like that's how you do it.
Yes.
But I started volunteering at a shelter, and when I was leaving a shelter one day, one of the ladies said, "I can't wait to go home." And it was in that moment. No, I said, "I'm sorry, I have to go home. I'll be back like next week or whatever." And she just looked at me and she was like, "I can't wait to be able to say, I'm going home." And I was like, not that I took home for granted, but it really allowed me to empathize and connect with them in a way where they are so exposed, they're so vulnerable, they're in this shared space, and they cannot wait to go home. So I made a commitment to visit, volunteer weekly, and have cake or dessert and coffee in the kitchen after their kids went to bed at like 9, 10 o'clock in the shelter so that everyone could share their stories. And it was in those sharing of stories that I can see the hope in everyone, because everyone was coming. It wasn't like I can one up you. Your story's bad, but I got one worse.
Yeah.
It was really a connecting of, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that happened to you. And so I think validating each woman as they shared a vulnerable part of their life with me was just a little bit of building for each one of them that I talked to. That was the beginning. And I'm like telling them, you guys, when you get out of here, like, come find me, because this is just the beginning, So there was a lot of hope that happened in those moments in each woman that I spoke with.
So,
And I think that's all we need.
have you talked to some of them?
No.
No.
And that was a long time ago. That was 2010, 2012.
Okay.
I don't even know any of their names, but I hope they're all doing amazing and showing up for themselves.
So, okay, that was cool. And so when you started the journey, who did you look up? Did you look up anyone to achieve what you want in life, or what you wanted out, or to fix anything, or like what was important to you to help fix yourself, or if I'm saying it right?
It was going to be showing up for myself. I think in my brokest hour, I connected with my church, and I connected with a group of ladies. And before I connected with a group of ladies, I actually fell out at the altar, just in desperation. And there was a lady that literally picked me up from the altar and took me into this back room. And she was like, I'm about to start this program. I'm about to start this series, and it's going to be 6 women, and I have 5 women, and I've been asking God to show me who that 6th woman is going to be. And it's you. And she invited me to her house to be a part of this ministry that she was getting ready to launch that was 6 women. And I went to her house every Monday for, I think, 13 weeks. And we worked out of this book. And for the first time, I was very reserved in the beginning because these were all strangers. I didn't know any of them, and I didn't feel safe sharing some of my experiences. But it wasn't that long in the 13 weeks, maybe week 3, that I either felt safe enough to share or I didn't care about what they were going to think. I was ready to just kind of get rid of stuff that I shouldn't be carrying anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I unloaded, and it was the most supportive group of women. And their responses were loving and encouraging and kind. And I didn't feel any shame or embarrassment. And it was them. So it was this lady who, she builds women. She uses God's word and she builds women. And I would look to her like, I want to do what you're doing. And she didn't have, in my opinion, a lot of the personal experience that some of the other ladies had. I felt like her life was very much intact, but she had God's word that she used to build everyone. And I just wanted to be able to do what she did, and also offer my personal life experience and offer like step-by-step like strategies to get out of some stuff, because I feel like I know how to get out of some stuff. And if you're in something, I want to be able to help you get out of that if that's what you're trying to do. So yeah, it was that time.
Have there been any LGBT that have been helped by you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. That's another population that is underserved.
Yeah.
And, they already have the challenges of having access to resources. So when you add additional things on there, like violence in relationship, they might not even have come out to their family members or something. So they're really kind of suffering in silence.
Mm-hmm.
My son is a part of the LGBTQ community, and I work closely with one of our partners, Pomona Valley Pride. And there's just a lot of people in general, but of the LGBTQ community that are impacted by domestic violence, that are in abusive relationships, that do suffer silently. And I have been connected to many, many of them.
So how do you think their situations differ, or do they differ from like cis hetero? Yeah.
I don't think, they differ in terms of like, if you are also like looking for shelter, if the abuse is extreme and you're looking for shelter, I think there's like limited resources, for maybe someone who might be transgender looking for a shelter, or trying to escape abusive relationships. I think it's very hard. The stigma is still very much, something that we are overcoming when it comes to community and the LGBTQ community. I still, as many people that do support the community, I think there are still a lot of people that don't support the community. So I think they do have have it so much harder because they might not have necessarily been able to identify all of their allies. And so who is a safe person to share things with? You know, navigating abuse is really very hard to do without safe people to have when you're coming out with things that you're sharing. So you couple that with being a part of the LGBTQ community, you really have to make sure that you are connected to allies who are connected to resources that can help. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. Yeah, because I just think that a lot of people suffer in silence.
Yeah. Do you look up to, I mean, who do you look up to, like, for support and help in your own, like, okay, I don't know how to put this in. So who do you look up? Do you look up to anybody to help you with your journey to help other people? Is there some, like, a mentor or somebody that really, or it's just all you? It's all Tracy?
Well, you know, it's funny because I had a therapist ask me, so who do you get therapy from? And I was like, will you give me therapy? She's like, nope, it's a conflict of interest. Sorry, can't do it. So she did refer a therapist to me, and I am going to reach out to them very soon because I do want that support. In the meantime, what I do, of course, I rely heavily on my relationship with God. I get up very early. I get into my word. I pray. I read a chapter or two in whatever book that I'm reading at the time. Every morning, I leave the house with my daughter, and we go into the sanctuary that we have created, and we have dim lighting. We do our red light therapy. We do our morning positive guided meditation. And every day at 5:30, I go into my prayer group from 5:30 to 6. And then every day at 6, I start at the gym. So I have like this, and I start at 3:30 in the morning. So I have this very dedicated regimen of self-care, pouring into myself, doing a lot for myself, mind, body, and spirit, before I talk to my first client. And every morning we have parent support group. Not every morning. Every Monday we have parent support group, and it's me and one of my team members who logs on, and we're there to support community. And guess what? When no one shows up, we are there to support each other. So she'll ask me, like, what are you struggling with right now? Or what would you like to share? And then I say the same for her. So weekly, we check in with each other during parent support group. And that's a big deal.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it gives me an opportunity to I'm in that seat where someone's asking me questions, and I'm feeling supported.
So do you feel like you're making a difference?
Yes. So many people need and want to be heard, supported, valued, and that's what we're doing. It's too many hurting people. It's too many people that have trauma. It's too many people that have created survival behaviors as a result of the trauma. It's too many people that are unable to allow their nervous system to relax because they're in survival mode. And every single day we are giving people an opportunity to relax their nervous system. And that's so important.
I think that answered my question, but I don't say what's one of the most important things to you?
It It is my hope that, and this would be for all people, but of course I'm partial to women because I'm a woman. You know, for no one to experience love that hurts. I think it's very important for all people, but again, I want to emphasize women to take up space. Too many times I have shrunk myself, I have silenced myself, and I have self-abandoned in order for someone else to be comfortable. I don't want anyone to do that. That's the most important thing for me.
Okay. So how where do you see yourself in 5 years? Let's get to Tracy's.
Tracy's healing room. Tracy's healing room. That's like, you know, I don't want to say successful, but we'll say like high achieving, influential, affluent women who really on the outside have it all together or appear to have it all together. They have so much going on and so many things to tackle. Tending to their trauma, tending to their emotional wounds is not a priority because they are directors and CEOs and judges and lawyers and senators, and they're all of these other people who they just, it's not a priority. They are carrying a lot of things for a lot of people. I want all of them. They need the same support. And so I want to provide a space for that population that appears to have it all together. And they probably do have it all together in a lot of areas, but they are just unable to give attention to some emotional pieces that require attention, that would actually pour into so many areas in a positive way if they gave some attention to that piece. I want them.
Okay. Let me see. Did I go through this one? So, let me see.
And I want them now, not in 5 years. I want them now.
No?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's Tracy's Healing.
Tracy's Healing Room.
So tell us about that a little bit.
Tracy's Healing Room was launched as a rebrand. The idea is to acquire high achieving clients. It's a membership tier that they would purchase that would come with some relationship coaching, and they would have their own portal. They would have tasks assigned to them. It would be very personalized, and funds from those memberships would go toward serving some of the clients that we serve in Healed Women Heal. And I think it'll be really, really good to offer that population some healing services.
So this is like a membership-based program?
Yes. I'll be your personal coach, your relationship coach.
So it's like a relationship coach, life coach, or no, just relationship?
Well, life, but it's all centered around relationships. And for me, I focus on the relationship with yourself. That's your longest and most important relationship. So I really focus on that, the self-awareness pieces of things, the things that maybe have caused trauma, that has created certain behaviors that you just think it's a personality trait, when in reality, no, a trauma has created this and has told you this is like how you need to be. It's not your personality. You are really in survival mode. So yeah, that population, it would be membership based, and funds would go towards some of the other programs that women can't afford to pay for.
Okay. So if you can, let's go. If you could go back and tell your 18-year-old self or 13-year-old self, I think it's 18-year-old self, what would you tell him?
Gosh, you're so worthy. You're so deserving. You matter. Like, your voice matters. Take up space. Don't back down. Don't worry about what someone else thinks of you. Go after that thing you want to do. Be that person that you're trying to be. Know that you can be or do anything that you want to do. Yeah, I don't think I had the confidence, and I didn't have the tools either, and I didn't have the right people in place. I was raised by a single mom and a single grandmother. My uncle was the male influence that hung out, and they offered a lot of protection and a lot of provision and a lot of love. But I think everyone is in survival mode, just working and getting paid and making things happen. And, you know, I had a safe place to sleep and a warm meal to eat all the time. But these other components, it wasn't a part of daily conversations. It wasn't pouring into me in the areas that I felt inadequate, because it was just, you know, like, what's wrong with you? It just hardness,
Yeah.
you know? So if I was feeling inadequate, it wasn't a pouring into give me all the reasons why, no, you are fully adequate and fully capable. It was more so like, don't listen to that person and screw what they talking about. But it still didn't give me what I needed to build up. I'm trying to like ignore people, and, you know, it didn't validate all the insecurities that I had. So I just, but you know, that was the generation.
Yeah, it was.
You know, now I'm making sure that I'm letting my Black children know that their hair is beautiful, your skin is beautiful. When for me, it was like, oh, well, if they say that again, just do this. It wasn't validating how beautiful I am, and your hair is perfect the way that it is, and your skin, you know, it was more, the focus was more on other people. So I pour into my kids and just make sure that they know that they're beautiful and valuable and worthy. And that's what I would have told my 13-year-old self and 18-year-old self. Both of them needed to know that.
That's good.
Yes.
That's really good. Maybe I needed that too.
You know, I did we were doing a healthy relationship workshop with a group of elementary students, and it was, I think, a third grader. And so one of the assignments was to list like 5 things that you love about yourself. This girl's hair was as curly as mine, and she was Hispanic. But one of the things that she said was my hair. And I was like, I love that. And she said, yeah. I said, I love that. I said, I love your hair too. I said, I love your hair. Your hair looks like my hair. And then I said, and I love that you love your hair. I said, you know why? Because when you grow up or when you get around someone who says, your hair is ugly, you can be like, you already know your hair is beautiful to you because you've identified something that you love about yourself. So now someone can't come in and tell you something bad about that thing that you already said that you loved. So I think that's so beautiful because one of the things that I hated when I was in the 3rd grade was my hair because everybody's hair was straight. But I didn't know what I know now.
Yeah.
So I didn't know to love and accept me for me. It was more so making sure everyone else knew their place and F you and your mama and, but learning how to love me and accept me for the color of my skin, the texture of my hair, that I was biracial, that took longer than it should have taken. So,
Yeah, I mean, I went through a lot of that. I think, yeah. I guess we're talking about it, yeah. And
right?
it is different. It's different. It was different back then than it is now.
It is.
Before it wasn't like cool. Now it's just normal. A lot more normal.
Yeah.
It took me a while to be normal.
A long time.
Yeah.
I forgot what my daughter's shirt. I just asked her what is, because all I saw was black, in a shirt, in a picture, and I said, "What does your shirt say?" And it wasn't black is beautiful, but let's just say that that's what it was. There were no shirts like that for me when I was growing up.
No.
Like, that wasn't a thing. So I love that that's a thing for my kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. My son, my nieces, my nephew, they're all mixed. We're all mixed. So it's pretty good. But they're a lot better off than. I mean, I had it good. I'm not gonna say it was bad, but there were times, and we both had times when it wasn't as fun as it should have been.
No, it was very different.
Yeah.
In the 70s.
And our parents didn't know any better.
No, they did the best job they
Yeah,
could.
they did. And they didn't see, because we probably didn't show a lot. I didn't.
Well,
I know that's for a fact. I didn't.
We probably weren't supposed to show a lot. That was like
yeah, kind of.
the generation.
Yeah, just deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. So, I guess I learned a lot. And if I know someone or we know someone who's suffering from domestic violence or abuse, or what can I do to help?
Send them to me. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook. We have a website, www.healedwomenheal.org. Contact us at healedwomenheal.org.
Is there like a contact, or is info at? Is there an email?
It's contact us.
Oh, contact us. Okay.
Yeah. Contact us at healedwomenheal.org. It's an email. A message line, 909-927-5389. I want to walk with anyone who needs support. So the difference between us and you have crisis. You have crisis that happen. Mm-hmm. I will refer people who are in crisis to someone who provides crisis services or crisis intervention. I can provide resources also, but We're typically not serving people in crisis, which is why we do a lot of prevention work. And we do a lot of healing work. And so we also don't provide therapy. Therapy does a lot of processing feelings. So if it's like what happened to you and how did that make you feel? And there's a lot of processing that needs to take place, then I have to refer you to a therapist. We are more very much healing focused, and we provide tools and strategy to move forward. So we'll validate, because I think that's very important, making sure that people feel validated in their experiences and letting them know that what happened to them, they didn't deserve. And after that, we got to take some strategic steps to put one foot in front of the other, to be better communicators, better decision makers, better listeners, better identifying our core values and what matters most to us, so that we can make better decisions. So everything is very much like trauma informed with a coach approach, just to help people move. So anybody that's stuck, we got you. We're going to help you move.
Okay. That was a lot of help.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned a lot. I hope they did.
Yay.
Yes, and we can start healing people. And Tracy, if you need anything, tell Tracy. She'll come and she'll come. She got you.
Because you're not alone.
Yeah, she wants more and more. She wants to.
We're in this together, and I truly believe that healing and community is the answer.
So, real quick, you said healing and crisis. What's the difference?
Crisis, you might be in danger. Your life is at stake.
Okay.
So, people who are in abusive relationships and make a decision to leave, that first 3 days it can be lethal. 72 hours after someone makes a decision to leave an abusive relationship is the most lethal time for that person, which is why if you're going into a shelter, they take your phone for 72 hours. If you're helping someone, make sure that you can make good on your ability to help them. So if you say, just leave and stay with me, make sure you have a place for them to stay. So that's someone in crisis, someone who might need a restraining order because they're being harassed and tormented and stalked. These are people in crisis. But for people who have endured abuse, who have come out of abuse, and maybe they're not even necessarily fearful of that person, but it's impacting how they move. Like that thing happened to them. Now they handle every other person a certain way. There's a lot of healing that needs to take place for that person. Not only for them to be able to not project onto everybody else to protect themselves, but also so that they don't pick another partner like that. So we look internally a lot. What is it about me that is attracting this certain type of person? Because that's the area that I need to focus on. So I'm not into victim blaming language, which that's something else that we teach. We have a whole workshop on what not to say. But if you're like, what's wrong with you? And why don't you just leave? Or why do you keep going back? Don't say any of those things. If you say those things, if you're supporting someone and you say those things, those are not the right things to say. because you're making that person feel bad about themselves. No one's asking that abuser, like, hey, why do you hit? Why do you treat her like that? Why do you behave badly? Everyone's saying, why do you stay? Why do you keep going back? What's wrong with you? So she already feels embarrassed. She's carrying a lot of guilt. She's carrying a shame. She might not understand why she keeps going back. But what a lot of people also fail to acknowledge is all of the barriers to leaving. There's fear, there's love, there's children, there's mental illness, substance abuse, culture, status, embarrassment. There's like, they might think it's normal. There's like so many things. There's so many barriers to leaving. So the better question to ask is, how can I support you? Something better to say is like, you deserve to be treated with love and respect. So if you identify that someone's being treated disrespectfully and not with love, let them know that they're worthy of a healthy love. They deserve to be treated with respect. So I think that's the piece that we need to focus on, not victim blaming, but looking inward and saying, what is it about me that is attracting this certain type of person? Because I did it once or twice or 3 times, whatever the case. I'm not judging. At some point, we have to look internally. We don't have control over other people. We only have control over ourselves. So we have the ability, like we were talking about earlier, to choose whoever we want.
Yeah.
So why are we making a bad choice? That's an inside job that needs attention. And I love doing inside jobs, because if you start to do the work, it becomes like addictive. Like, you can have fun working on yourself.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like you start learning things about yourself. You start like uncovering stuff. You're peeling back stuff. And it's like, oh, shoot, what am I going to find today? I mean, I have become obsessed with learning about myself and healing myself and growing in a healthy way, I feel. But yeah, we have to look inward.
Okay. I like that's knowledge. That's a lot of knowledge.
Yes.
Yes. We're all going to learn now and try to help ourselves out.
Yes. Yes.
And if you have a problem finding yourself or need some help,
I got you.
yeah, Tracy's here for you. So yeah,
Yes.
thanks a lot for coming out.
Thank you.
Great. It was great having you here, and maybe we can have you again on sometime.
Great to be here.
Yes, well, we're always open for you to come and
Thank
share
you,
your knowledge and
Terry.
help everybody out.
I appreciate you.
Okay, thank you
Thank
very much.
you.
And remember, look for her. All her information will be on the bottom, on the bottom, and you can reach out to Tracy, and she'll make you all be better.
We have
Okay?
an amazing team.
Yes.
We got you.
Thanks for looking.
Yay. Thanks.